Okay, so good afternoon to all. Let's start today's session. Uh, Before that, let's see what we are studied in the last session. So, in last lecture, we studied about the induction motor actually, and we have to mainly focus on the three-phase induction motor. Again, generally, we have two types of supply. Either it will be a alternating supply, or you can say AC, or another is the direct supply or direct current supply, or you can say DC. And DC does not having the frequency, or you can say the frequency of the DC will be zero. Okay. So in India, generally we have a AC supply, and there are two types of AC supply we have. Either we have a single phase AC supply, and those who have a high load capacity or the requirement of the high load, they having a three phase AC supplies. But in both the supply, either you can say a single phase AC supply or a three phase AC supply, the supply frequency of the voltage is 50 hertz. Okay, so in India, the supply frequency is 50 hertz. So we have two types of sources, and according to that two types of sources, again we have two types of induction motor. Suppose we have an induction motor which will work on the single phase supply, then that type of induction motor is known as the single phase induction motor. And suppose your induction motor work on the three phase AC supply, then that induction motor is known as a three phase induction motor. So we have actually uh, two types of induction motor. And why we mainly focus on the induction motor? Because in industry, most of around you can say around 90% of motors are the induction motor because of its ruggedness and what can I say, the its cost per kilowatt or per cost per HP, and uh, easy maintenance. So there are lots of advantages of an induction motor. So you can say around in industry around 90% motors are the induction motors. Okay, 90% of the motors are the induction motors. So again, the induction motor having a two main parts. You can say a stator and rotor. Okay, so and we have a two windings which is made by the copper, known as the stator winding and rotor winding. And according to the construction of the rotor, again the three-phase induction motor are divided in two other types, which is known as the squirrel cage induction motor, in which we have the construction of the rotor is like a cage of the squirrel. That's why its name is the squirrel cage induction motor. And another is known as the slip ring induction motor, or you can say a wound type induction motor. And why it is known as the slip ring induction motor? Because at the rotor, at the shaft of the rotor, we are putting the slip ring, and as we have a three-phase induction motor, we are putting the three slip ring at the shaft of the rotor. Okay, so that's why it is known as the slip ring induction motor. So there are generally mainly two types of induction motor, and how it will be worked, that's also we will see in the last lecture. If we are giving the three-phase balanced supply to the three-phase induction motor, or you can say if we are giving the three-phase balanced supply to the stator of the three-phase induction motor, a rotating magnetic field is created. A rotating magnetic field is created, and that rotating magnetic field uh, is rotated at the synchronous speed, and the equation of the synchronous speed here it is shown. It is ns is equal to that's one. You can say it is ns is equal to 120 f by p. It is, so this is the equation of the synchronous speed. So when we are giving the balanced supply to the stator of the three-phase induction motor, a rotating magnetic field is created, and that rotating magnetic field is cut by the rotor winding. It's cut by the rotor winding, and generally at the steady state, rotor is the stationary, or you can say at the steady state or starting condition, the speed of the rotor is zero. So due to that rotating magnetic field cut by the rotor conductor, so according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, an EMF is induced. An EMF is induced in the rotor conductor. An EMF is induced in the rotor conductor, and according to Lenz's law, what is the Lenz law? The Lenz law says the direction of induced EMF. The direction of induced EMF is opposed the cause of the production of it. Is opposed the cause of the production of it, and due to which a force is created, and the motor will rotate in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field. Motor is rotated in the same direction of the rotating magnetic field. So this is the equation of the, you can say, synchronous speed, which having a 120 f by p, and in which f is the frequency, and in India, as I already said, the frequency is 50 hertz, and P is the pole of the induction motor, you can say magnetic pole. So generally we do not have a physical pole in induction motor. You cannot see, you have to generate. So we have a virtual pole, or you can say imaginary pole in induction motor. So it will be either 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. Okay. And also we see why we are taking the asynchronous machine. We have two types of AC machine, synchronous and asynchronous. And why we are taking the asynchronous? Because the machine which is rotated, the machine which is rotated at the speed which is lower than the synchronous speed, that is known as the asynchronous machine. That is known as the asynchronous machine. So here is the three-phase supply, and let me start the simulation. Okay, so it is our experiment number 2. I am saving that at experiment number 2. So if you double click it will be open. So wait for the 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so you can see this is our experiment number 2, and how we find that. Okay, so let's say you can easily see this is the induction motor. Here we have to give the mechanical torque, and if you double click on the induction motor, it's having a different types of configuration it have. So we have a different configuration, out of which we are selecting a 5.4 HP. or you can say 4 kilowatt induction motor which having a 400 volt 50 hertz and its rated speed. Its rated speed is 1430 rpm. So let me write down the configuration. So from that you can easily understand about that. Here, okay, here it's already written. We have a 4000 watt, or you can say a 4 kilowatt, 4 kilowatt induction motor, and its rated speed is you can see here it is 1430 rpm. So this is our rated speed. It is not a no load speed. And here we have the speed in the rpm. Here we have the speed in the rpm, but what we are getting the speed in radian per second. You can see here, let me show you. Okay, so we have the speed in omega. We have the speed in omega. So this is our full load speed, which is 150 radian per second, and we are calculating the mechanical torque which we have to give. So our mechanical torque is around 26.5 newton meter. But suppose my equation is, let's say omega is equal to, we know it is 2 pi n by 60, but I required my speed in rpm. So what I have to do, I have to multiply this with omega. So my equation becomes omega into 60 divided by the 2 by pi. So again 2 and 60 is cancelled out, so it is 30. So if I require the speed in the rpm, what I have to do, I have to multiply the omega with a 30 by pi. With a 30 by pi, then I have the speed in the rpm. So if I want to measure the speed in rpm, so what I have to do, I have to take one gain. So this is my gain, add to the exponent number 2. So here it is gain. Now what is the value of gain? If you double click on that, it having option. So here my gain is 1. Again, we do not have to take a sample time, it will be -1. So we do not changing anything. Just what you have to multiply, you have to write. You can see here, there are given the equation. So I have to multiply it by 30 I required the value 30 by pi. So if you write down pi in a MATLAB, if you write down pi in the MATLAB understand what is the meaning of pi. Let me show you. If you are going to here, just write down pi and put a enter. So it will give you the value. So MATLAB sometimes understand the some basic equations. So it's having the value of 3.1416. So pi, we do not have to write the symbol in a MATLAB. If you write down just pi, it will be understand. So here, this is the my gain. So it is 30 by pi. It is visible, I think. Now I require the speed instead of omega into meter. I require the speed in RPM. So what I have to do, I have to multiply the speed of omega with a 30 by pi, so I'm getting the speed. Then I'm getting the speed in RPM. That I'm getting the speed in RPM. This is my three-phase supply I'm giving to the asynchronous machine, and this is my load. Again, what is step function? There are some questions of the step function. Again, let me click at it. So we have to put a three. We have to put a three value. The first is step time. Another one is the initial value, and another is the final value. What initial value indicates before this step time, what is the value? So before the step time is 3, so before step time 3 or before the 3 second, my initial value is 0. Before 3 seconds, my initial value is 0. And final value means after 3 seconds, what is my final value? So it is 13.5. After 3 seconds, what is my final value? So after 3 seconds, my final value is 13.5. So these three things we have to focus. We do not have to change anything. Okay, we do not have to focus on the sample time or what is the interpret vector parameter as a 1 by d or enable zero crossing detection. We do not have to focus. It's their parameter, but we have to focus on these three things. The first one is the step time. Another one is the initial value, and the third one is the final value. Okay, again, let me tell you about that. What is the meaning of that? Okay, so step time, after which time you have to change its initial value to its final value, that is step time. Here I am selecting 3. You can also select 1, 2, 5, anything, it's your choice. Okay, so before that value, my initial value is 0. And again, it's not compulsory. I am writing it 0 because I want to start my motor. Because I want to start my motor at no load. I want to start my motor at the no load. Otherwise, you can give directly value. You can start your motor with full load also. Okay, you can start your motor with a full load also. But I want to start my motor at no load. So because of that, I am taking the value of 0. Okay, so anyone having any doubt? Anyone having any doubt in this step time, initial value and final value? Then you can ask me right now. Okay, thank you, Karthik. So, okay, thank you, Lemmy. So it's really easy to create a step. But what I have to do, I have to start my motor. What I am doing here, let me show you. I'm taking the step 0, then 3 second, and then 6 second. So between 0 to 3 second, my motor will work at the no load. Okay, after 3 second, you can also say like that step time means you can also take its start time. Okay, after 3 to 6 second, we are also already calculated the actually load, and the load of the induction motor which we are getting, it is 26.5. Okay, so I'm considering it is 27. So before 3 to 6 seconds, my motor will work at the 36.5 Newton meter load. Okay, you can see here. Let me close it. Okay, 13.5. And afterwards, after 6, I'm running up to 10 seconds. After 6, again I'm adding another 26, so my motor get total 27 Newton meter load. Okay, So that's why I have to add another step. You can see here, step time is 6. So before 6, the another step 1 value is 0. And after the 6 second, its value is 13.5. So after 6, we are already given here. After 3, it is 13.5. After 6, another 13.5. So total we are getting 27. We are getting 27 Newton meter load. Okay, we are getting 27 Newton meter load, and that we have to check what is the effect of that. Okay, that we have to check what is the effect or effect of the load on the induction motor speed, or you can say also we are checking the what is the current. Okay, what is the effect of the load on the speed and the current. Okay, stator current. So that's why here we are taking this block is known as the bus selector, in which you have numbers of options. Because why we are not making 27? See, its actually load is 27. So here we are taking add option. Okay, here we are adding these two steps. So here we have 13.5. Here we have 13.5. So 13.5 plus 13.5, it's get the 27 after 6. So no need to add 27 after 6. If I am adding 27 after 6, then the total torque, total load here getting it is 27 plus 13.5, it is 40.5. It is 40.5. Okay. So here we have add button. So we are adding these two. We are adding these two. Let me show you the graph also, so you can easily understand. Up to 10. Okay. So 0 to 10, what is that? It is time in second. It's time in second. And here we are adding 2. So this is my step 1. And this is my step 2. And we are adding these two. So in step 1, here we have also 0, step 2 also 0, 1 second also 0, again here 0, 2 second also 0, here also 0. At the third second, we are adding a 13.5. But up to third, the step 2 is also 0. So third to fifth, we have 0 only. Now this is after 3, it will be 13.5 up to, you can say, infinite. Okay, because its final value is 13.5. So after 3, you can say, or at the 3, its value is 13.5, and after this it will be a 13.5 up to infinite time. But here we have step 2, which having a starting step time we are taking 6. So at 6 it will be at another 13.5. So total load, you can say, total load up to 3 second, we have total load on the motor, total load on the motor is 0. After this, it will be a 13.5 Newton meter. And after this here, now it will be 13.5 up to last. After here we have a 27. So here we have a 27 Newton meter. Okay. So now I think I am clear. Whose question it is? Okay, okay, thank you, Lemmy. So again move to the simulation. So now we have to run this simulation. Okay, so let me run the run time. Let me take a 10 seconds. This is the time. If you the time up to which you want to run, you can take a 10, 100. It's your choice. Okay. So, so wait for the 2-3 minutes. You can see here the simulation will be is running. So once it will be a complete 10 second, then it will be stop automatically. It's also not compulsory. Then we are taking the graphs of the speed in the scope also. We have also another. Let me show you the. Sorry. So if you want to search any block in a MATLAB, you just search in the search option, and it will take a time. Okay, once you are searching one time, first time only. Okay, after that it will be search very speedy. So let it be search. Okay, so now you can see my speed. Okay, and these are the two buttons. What it says, if you want to zoom it out the x-axis, you click on that. If you want to zoom it out the y-axis, you click on that. Again, this is the auto scale. So I want to first, and this is the generalized zoom button. So you can see here, this is my speed, and it will be nearly constant at the around, you can say 1500 rpm or 1499 rpm. Okay, so what we are getting, my no load speed is around 1500 rpm. Okay, why it is? Because we do not connecting any loads. We are do not connecting any loads. The speed will be somewhat reduced because of the losses, and from this you can say my synchronous speed ns is equal to, I already give the equation, 120 f by p. So in India the frequency is 50. So here it will be a 4-pole machine. Okay, from that you can easily identify we have 4-pole induction machine. So its synchronous speed is 1500 rpm, and it is my this speed is around 1498 rpm, and there are only a 2 rpm drop. Okay, and those speed which we are getting at the starting of the motor, it is 1430 rpm. You can say that speed is the rated speed. What is the meaning of rated speed of the induction motor? Means at the f, when we are rotating our induction motor with the full load condition, at this condition my speed is 1430 rpm. So again after 3 seconds you can say, you see here, let me zoom it out again. What we are doing, before that my load is nearly zero, so we are not giving any load, but at 3 seconds I am giving the load to the induction motor, and it's around as you all know it is 13.5, but it will take a time to stabilize. Okay, so you can see here, let me zoom the y-axis. If you see here, it is nearly, as I'm giving a 13.5, but it will take a time to stabilize. Okay, so at that point I'm giving the load. Okay, and the load is 13.5. So when we are giving the load, what is the change in speed? My speed is reduced. Let it take, it is 1468. So at half load, my speed is, you can say it is 1468 rpm. So what that means, if you, again let me write down the downward side, if you increase the load on the motor, your speed will be decreased. Your speed will be decreased. So as the load of the motor will be increased, the speed of the motor will be decreased. Again you can check, again we are giving the load at the 6. So you can again check here. So here at that point we are giving the load, and it is around another 13.5, so it's nearly 27. Okay, so this is my load torque which we are giving, and what is the effect on shift, and this is my full load, or you can say rated speed of the induction motor. See, it is 1433. It's nearly a rated speed which is given in the, here you can see a 400 volt 50 hertz, and the rated speed of the motor is 1430 rpm. 1430 rpm. Okay, so that's how the change is there. If you are changing the load or if you are increasing the load of the induction motor, the speed will be decreased. Okay, so at no load the speed is around 1498 rpm, and at full load it will be drop around you can say a 60 rpm. Okay, so this is the change in speed because of the change in load. Okay, again let's check what is the effect on the stator current. Okay, that's also we have to check what is the effect on the current. So just we are checking this scope which having what can I say, a speed and a torque. And now this is the current, and here I am putting a mux. Again, what is the application of mux? It's like adding only. So let me double click on that. So it's C phase. Because of that the waveforms are like that. You can say starting current having you see here it's around 80 ampere. And why it's because of the inrush current. Why? Because of the magnetic inrush. Okay. Yes, Akash, you are really right. So the maximum speed of the induction motor is around 1500. It will not going beyond the 1500 because the 1500 rpm is the synchronous speed, and our machine is always rotating at below the synchronous speed. Okay, and at the load it will be a 1004 at full load. If you are increasing the load again beyond the capacity of the motor, the speed will be decreased. Okay, so all the motors having a starting current, and that's why we are not starting any machine, either you can say a DC motor or a induction motor or AC motor without starter. And what is the application of starters? The application of a starter is to limit the starting current. Because of the magnetic inrush, the starting current of the motor is around 3 times to 5 times higher. The starting current of the induction motor will be 3 times to 5 times higher. Okay, you can see here the current is touching the 80 ampere. It's around 81, the starting current. And here you can see it's nearly 6 ampere. It's nearly 6 ampere. So you can say the starting current is 60 times higher than the no load current. So to limit that starting current, we have to put a starter. Okay. Uh, mm, Now I think it's easily visible for you. Uh, okay, you can change the style by yourself any time. Okay, so see the what is the effect of the magnetic inrush. It's you can see here the R phase current is touches the 80 ampere, so it will be take a time to stabilize, but it will take a time around 0.1 second only. So we have to just control the current up to 0.1 second. Okay, and for that we are using the starters. After this, my current is, this is the current R phase, Y phase and B phase. It's around a 6 ampere and it is very stabilized. It is very stabilized. Okay. So you can see again what we have to check. We have to check at the effect of 3. Wait for the 1 minute. You see easily, you can visualize the effect after 3 seconds. What will happen? See, at the 3 second, at this moment, we are giving the load. Okay, and to balance that load, what induction motor does, it will take a more current from the supply. Okay, it will take a more current from the supply to balance the load. Okay, so you can see now at half load, the motor will take a current nearly 8 ampere. Okay, it will take a current nearly 8 ampere. Let me zoom it out. So it's nearly 8 ampere. If you see that, it's let me show you. Sorry. Okay, so it's around 7.5 ampere. So at half load, the motor will take a current of 7.5. And again, what we are doing at 6 seconds, you can see, you can easily visualize from the waveform only. Now, what is the effect of the load on the current? Okay. So wait for the 1 minute. So now you can see here at the 6 second. Now again there is a change in current because of the another load which we are adding after 6 seconds. Okay, so at that my current will be more than 10 amperes. So you can see here it will be around 11.6 or 11.7 amperes something. So this is the effect of the load on the induction motor. Now anyone having any doubt in this? It's around 11.34. Okay. So now let's change the voltage. Okay, on the same thing, let me write down again. We are writing the speed. So let me write down the current also. So here at that moment, the current is around nearly 6 ampere. At this moment, the current is around 8 ampere. And it's this moment current is around 11.3 ampere. Okay, so now let us change the supply voltage and then we are checking what is the effect of the voltage on the machine. So instead of 327, let me write down it is 270. Okay, we are not changing the frequency or anything, just we are changing the voltage only. Let's run it for 8 seconds only. Sorry. Okay, so again, take this. You can see the no load current is now less because of the low voltage. Because of the low voltage, now current is less. The no load current. First, it will be a nearly 6, and now it is 4.8. Now it is 4.8. But when we are giving the load, the full load current, or sorry, half load current is around nearly 7.6 only. And what is the effect on full load? You can see it's around 13 ampere. So now why it will be there? So at no load, the voltage is less. So that's why the current will around less. But when we are running the motor at the full load, okay, and because of the low voltage, suppose if the motor will require the 4000 watt, which is power, and again, what is the equation of the power? Another equation of the power, you can say it is root 3 VI cos phi. So for constant power for 4000 watt, if we reduce the voltage, the current must be increased. The current must be increased. And if we reduce the voltage again more, then there is also effect on the speed also. Here the effect on the speed is very less. You can see here. Let me show you. You can see it is from the 1433, it's around 1090, 1398, 1398. So in second case, it is 1398, and before that, the speed is 1452 in this case. But the no load speed is around remains same. It's 1498, because before that we are not giving any load to the induction motor. But when we are giving the load to the induction motor with a reduced voltage, the speed is also reduced and current will be increased. Okay, the speed is reduced and the current will be increased. Okay, so it's already 4:02. So we will check again, so the analysis of the frequency. Okay, so what is the effect of the change in frequency on the induction motor? That we will check in the next lecture. So if anyone having any doubt, you can ask me a question by unmute yourself, or you can ask me a question in chat session. Otherwise, we will end this session. Okay, thank you, Karthik. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you, Lemmy. Okay, thank you, Akash. Okay, you if you have a MATLAB, you can also start practicing this thing. I will also share the link of the today's session also in your WhatsApp group, and from that a video you can also start practicing by yourself in a MATLAB. Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending the session. So, okay, so now I am end this session.